2. We're live. Hey everyone, good evening. Welcome to 3Ps in a Podcast, where we are three sisters and we are inviting you into our conversations. These are real conversations that we have, whether it's over the phone, in person, and we'd like for you to join us. Hop down in the comments and engage with us. If you're catching the replay, if you're catching the live, go ahead, hop in the comments and share your thoughts. I am Veronica.
I am Monica. Welcome to our show. We hope we say something that intrigues your interest today, and thank you for joining us.
I am EM. I am the oldest of the pods, three peas in a pod. So thank you all for joining this evening, and we hope that you enjoy our conversation.
Okay. And for the record, I'm the youngest. Well, Monica and I are
Mhm.
twins.
Monica,
By
also
some
known
minutes.
as Bo.
Bo.
I'm supposed to be using Bo, so I said
Yeah,
Monica, though.
Bo.
Also known as Bo.
Bo and I are twins. So we'll just go ahead and hop right into our topics. Ladies, did you all want to tell your topic, tell what your topic is before we go? And then I'll go ahead and start with the first one, which is mine.
Sure.
Or we just, okay.
hmm
Bo,
Okay, so
you can
my
just tell us.
topic today is going to be about warnings about the advancements in AI, how there could be dangers to the um, speed of the advancement.
Okay.
Hmm.
EM.
My topic is the simpler life. Why are people seeking a simpler life, minimizing things? So we want to talk about the simpler life, and let's talk and see, are you seeking a simpler life?
Okay. And my topic is test the theory. Pastor Jamal Bryant responds to Thug. So, and I'll probably tweak that a little bit, but I'll go ahead and go into my talking points. And I do have some videos that I want to share. Now, I know that there in our podcast, we try to steer away from too heavy of topics. We will, sometimes we will discuss heavy topics, and uh, my topic is heavy. Um, it's about a heavy subject. I'll just put it that way, and then I'll just go ahead and go into my topic. You all hear Dexter over there.
I hear him. He does that. I know exactly what he's doing.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and jump into my topic, and I have quite a few talking points. I may not get to all of them. I'll try to go as fast as I can or read them as fast as I can. Um, so I did a secondary topic, and it says acquittal, community response, and economic activism. So in June 2026, you all know, just now in South Carolina, a jury acquitted. Um, Let me put my glasses on. A jury acquitted convenience store owner clerk Rick Chow of murder in the 2023 shooting death of 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack-Belton. The verdict sparked immediate outrage, with many arguing that justice was not served and calling for economic boycotts of businesses operating in predominantly black communities, Asian businesses operating in predominantly black communities. So, as emotions intensified online, several social media personalities posted controversial responses directed toward the black community. Some dismissed calls for boycotts, while others made inflammatory comments that many viewed as racially insensitive or outright racist. These videos quickly circulated, fueling further division and debate. So I'm going to go ahead and pause right here, and we're going to take a look at some of the videos. Now, again, my topic is not so much the verdict. There are a lot of um, think tanks and people talking about the verdict. You know, um, my conversation is more around the aftermath. And again, Jamal Bryant, and not just Jamal Bryant, but people calling for boycotts of these businesses in predominantly black communities. So let's go ahead and to me, it's very weird. The two videos that I'm going to show you, they're very weird responses to outcry for injustice. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. And you all let me know. Hopefully you all can see it and hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I can
it's
see it.
it.
Okay, and it's going to start playing in a minute.
I love when the black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout, the dry cleaners, the laundromats. Let's get rid of the liquor stores as well. Get rid of the Jordans you guys wear, the Nikes you wear, the shower caps, the Hondas, the Hyundais, all your car electricians, the electronics in your house, the Sony, the TV system, your sound system, the microphones that you guys use to rap and speak about awareness for the black culture and the hip hop culture. Where do you think that's made in? That's made all in Asia. And here's another thing for you guys. You guys want us to leave the neighborhood so bad? Oh, Asian people are not neighborhoods? We're in white neighborhoods. We have our own Chinatown. We have our own Koreatown. You think we really need you guys to benefit off and make money? A lot of us do go to college as well. You're being outworked by immigrants who barely speak English. And you're not embarrassed? Go to the bank, start your own businesses, and deal with your own people. I want to see your own women get on their hands and knees and do pedicures and manicures and deal with nasty ass attitudes, okay? Please, boycott Asian business. I'm all for it.
Now this person has since deleted this video. And then you had this other person here, and I'll go ahead and put hers up.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be an unpopular opinion, and I'm going to call you out since you don't seem to understand. Every single one of you over there boycotting Asian business and spreading more Asian hate, you black people with your black fatigue, okay? And what your people call yeah, not my words. Those are your people words. You people that is living in that black culture mentality, the poor victim mentality, thinking that people still owe you reparation. Yeah, you. I'm the one talking to you. Every single one of you failing in life. And then you want to blame everybody else. You see this whole Cyrus case and Mr. Chow? None of this would have happened if you raise your kids right. That little boy witnessed some of his business trying to steal water, okay? Now, I might not agree with Mr. Chow chasing the boy and shooting him in Timbuktu, okay, wherever the fuck it was. But here's the crazy part. If you had disciplined your boy right, he wouldn't be someone's store trying to steal 50 cents bottle of water in the first place, okay? Not only that, you go and attack the attorney defending his clients. And then here's the truth of the matter. Your people, there are 7 black jurors who found your kid responsible, making Mr. Chow, okay, not guilty because they understand your culture, your mentality. You failed your kid. Your society failed your kid. Your mentality failed your kid. That attitude failed your kid. Now, if you can't reflect on that, and if you can't understand and take accountability for your failure, this will continue. More black kids are going to die. Your community is still going to struggle, and your people will continue to be in poverty. No one's going to give you a handout. Stop asking for a...
Okay, so that's that one. And now I did have a video also of the young man's parents who were talking about how they were getting all type of racist comments in their social media accounts, in their emails. I had the video of them talking. Unfortunately, I did not download it. I thought I did, so I apologize for that. But in that video, now let's go back to this first character here. So Pastor Jamal Bryant responded to that video. He said, well, you heard it from them. They said they don't need our money and that we can't survive without them. Y'all want to test the theory? So that's what Pastor Jamal has said. So the questions I have are surrounding that. Many are calling for boycotts. So just think about what we just heard. And I will say that these are literally the only, and there may be more, I don't know, but these are literally the only 2 people that I've seen with this type of hostility for people calling for injustice. These are the only 2 videos I've seen. I have seen a wealth of people from the Asian community come out and rebuke these people and try to educate them. So I will say that that's the truth.
Okay.
So my questions are, just looking at those videos and then, with people calling for boycotts. Let me get to the question.
It's so funny that I actually went to a Sally's store today,
I'm
and I
I'm
was
sorry. I'm just let me while I'm still
okay.
my content is still in my head.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go to my questions yet. I have another video that I'm going to play. So
Hmm.
we talked about Pastor Jamal Bryant. So we talked about the family of the young man. Talking about how the racist comments and stuff that they're getting on their posts, and then they're saying that they're glad that the young man is dead and all of this. So there's a young lady who posted a video on Facebook. Her name is Kiana Lawson. So she posted a video that she called a triggering video for her. And I'm just
That
gonna go.
last video was triggering. I'm like, I was
That
ready
was
to just be
was
like,
she
okay,
post
I'm gonna
she
be done with the show for the day because
right.
I don't give
Yeah.
that type of stuff
Yeah.
really place in my
Yeah,
head.
it's
Really,
crazy. It's weird
yeah,
to me, these type of response to what
hmm,
some are perceiving as injustice.
yeah.
So Kiana Lawson, I'm sorry, she posted a response video to what she describes as a triggering question for her. So I'm going to go ahead and play that.
All right, so the comment right here on this post, I'm going to read it in its totality, and then I'm going to address it piece by piece because this woman made some statements in this comment that I felt deserved more than just a typed out response. It deserves a video because I suspect there's a nice population of Black people that think like this, and we need to go ahead and address it. We need to talk about the elephant in the room. So let's read the comment. She states, I am a supporter of boycotts because economic power is the only real power. But I am also a reasonable person and I will not abandon an Asian owned business that I have a 20 plus year relationship with the owner. Watched her children grow up and she is like my niece. I identify the problematic businesses and every community knows who they are. Otherwise, we are no better than they are. Randomly shaming people without any context on the business other than their race. There are always allies that are non-Black or just good people. Any other blanket attacking people randomly just makes you a Black racist. So,
Okay, so that's the part that I wanted you all to hear from this video, because it then leads me to my question. So let me just go ahead and get this off the stage. Did you all see that, EM?
Yes.
Okay. Um, oops, what am I doing here? I'm trying to get her off the stage. Okay. Bo, did you hear what she said?
Yeah, I heard her. I mean, I
Okay, but let me. So she heard. So that's leading up to my questions. So the questions I'm asking first is an economic boycott an appropriate response to this verdict? Should communities target specific businesses based on actions and attitudes, or should a broader boycott be considered? So, and I think it's important to point out in the video that I did not download the young man's parents when they were talking, they said this. So I'm going to say alleged. It's true, but I'm going to say alleged, for various purposes. Um, the man who killed their son had shot three people three prior shootings before. So again, it goes back: should we target the problematic businesses or all of the businesses as a whole? How do we avoid unfairly stereotyping an entire communities based on actions of a vocal few? Same way we are always stereotyped, but I digress. Um, Now, also, can Pastor Jamal Bryant mobilize support in a way similar to the recent Target boycott efforts? Because we saw what that did to Target. Now, he was instrumental in getting that boycott going. I believe he played a big part. He had the big platform. We know that he was not the one who initiated it by far. He was not the owner of all of that, but he played, in my opinion, instrumental part and really getting the ball rolling and a call to action. So those are my questions. Okay, now what are you all takes on? I'm sorry, Bo, I had to keep cutting you off. I just didn't want to lose my train of
Oh
thought.
no, it's fine. I mean, I was just gonna make a simple comment that I had went to a Sally's hair store today, but I had ordered some edge control from a black owned business
Mm-hmm,
that I've been seeing like a lot. Baskin
mm-hmm,
Lather, I think they're called, and it's
Mm.
supposedly a really really good edge control, but it hasn't made it yet. So I
mm-hmm,
had to go to Sally's to get some, and I got it, and eventually I'm gonna have to take it back because it's turning white, and I already got a little gray hair, so I can't have that. But what it was a black lady who sold it to me, but there was another Caucasian lady in the store as well, and she was trying to sell me some, little medallion things to put on your fingernails, and she was like, "Do you get your nails done?" And I said, "Yeah, sometimes I do." And she was like, "Well, you can take these. These are great for the holiday because the 4th of July is coming up and everything." She's like, "You could take these." I said, "Well, I think we're boycotting those companies right now." And she was like, "What? Really? For what?" And I was like, "Well, I didn't really have an understanding that it was because of the things that you're talking about right now, but I just said, well, there's been some disrespect. That's really all I knew. But
mm-hmm.
that's why I was just saying it was funny that we're talking about this because I
You
experienced
knew, but
today where
you
I had to
didn't
tell
know the broader
somebody,
scope.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're I think we're boycotting them,
Mm-hmm,
and I hadn't jumped on it yet, but I had seen the clip of the Asian guy speaking, but I didn't know that was the reason for the boycott.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna take back the edge control that I got though, and it was probably made by somebody Asian. I don't know, I could just be saying that, but it's not working for me. So I'm looking forward to get my black owned edge control because I heard it's magnificent.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, what are your thoughts on also the questions that I had? Do we target just the specific problematic businesses or do we boycott them all?
I feel like that as a Black community, we need to patronize our own businesses
I do
more,
too.
We
Absolutely.
regardless of a boycott. And part of it, I feel like, is I need to know where they are. And I
Mhm.
understand there's these links online you can go to and different
Mm-hmm,
things, but I've even tried with my nails before. I've had my best experience with a salon in Jacksonville. It's a lady I know. We bowl together, and she has a Black-owned spa,
mm-hmm,
and they do a good job, but it's limited.
mm-hmm,
So she'll do
mm-hmm,
gel nails, but I have tap on my nails, which
mm-hmm,
I use a certain product because I use my hands a lot and
mm-hmm,
I bowl. And
mm-hmm,
gel does not hold up to a bowling
mm-hmm,
ball.
Mhm.
Neither does the powder. So I
mm-hmm,
use a certain product. It's even hard to find it when it's not a Asian
mm-hmm,
when it's an Asian place. But
Mhm.
I also feel like it's kind of hard to find those services that you've become accustomed to
Mhm.
at those shops. Now I stopped going to them years ago for my eyebrows because I knew they didn't care and they was
Mhm.
just pulling my eyebrows out. So the
mm-hmm,
lady I'm talking about, her shop is the one who grew my eyebrows back in.
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
But I've learned over the years from my experience going to some of the shops that all they care about is the money.
It's the
Mhm.
They don't
transaction,
care.
the
They
money.
don't care. They don't
Yep.
care about your nail health.
Mhm.
They don't
Mhm.
care about them pulling my whole eyebrows out my
Mm-hmm,
head.
They don't care about your
Um,
skin, the stuff
you're
they put
right.
on your skin
You're
after they
right.
do
The
your eyebrows.
sanitation is bare minimum. They do, and then a lot of the talk is it's about sometimes I've been with my nail tech and I can tell that she's trying to rush because she knows somebody else is coming and she
mm-hmm,
wants that next dollar.
Mhm.
And even though I make it a point to tip well and stuff, believe
Mhm.
me, I've searched for other places to go simply because sometimes the way that I felt going in the shop. I
Mhm.
remember there was one shop I went to and there was a nail tech and there a guy. I really liked him. He was
Mhm.
Asian. But
Mhm.
the owner seemed to have a problem with me. And I just never could figure out why. I was, there. We tipped well.
Mhm.
And I remember one of the last times I went in that shop, I almost was in tears when I got home. I told my husband, I said, I'm not going back in there.
Mhm.
I'm not going back in there. But it was something about the spirit of it and what he was
Mhm.
doing that I could feel it, you know, coming through. Now I have ran into a few that are Christian. They're not that. And in this, my experience there actually has been better at the ones who are believers. But I think that it's necessary because the black dollar is very
Powerful. It's
powerful,
very
and I
powerful.
don't think we realize how powerful
How
our dollar
powerful it
is.
is. Yeah. Um, I'm so glad that you all said some of the things you said. And when you talked about entering into that place and the spirit wasn't right, I'm going to tell you all. You all remember when we were in college in Mississippi? We went
Mhm.
into one of those stores, and this is around the time when they just started popping up all over the place. You know,
Mhm.
the Asian hair stores and stuff.
Mhm.
And I felt so uncomfortable, like you said. It was just unsettling to me, and it was ever since
It
then.
always
I
feels so.
really haven't
Mhm.
patronized the stores
Yeah.
really that much.
Mm,
To when I was wearing braids and stuff, I started back. But for a long time, I didn't, because it just, like you said, I knew they wanted my money, but they didn't
Mhm.
want me.
Yeah.
And the
mm,
spirit of that place was very clear, and I
And
mm,
always carried that with me.
mhm. And
mm,
it's
But
not good
I
quality stuff. None of that stuff is really
no, it's
high
not.
quality. It's
But
all low
I think
quality.
mm,
there's a broader conversation to be had. And when I was
Mhm.
doing my content today, and I was saying, it will be a broader conversation that I will, circle back to it.
Mhm.
I just feel like our experience, and I'm talking about who, our ancestors were brought over here. We know how we ended up here. I think our experience is so different from even other
mm.
immigrant blacks who came over here.
Right.
And even
And
some
I don't like seeing them downgrade our experience either because see
they
you
do,
all
and they
didn't go
try
through
to. Yes,
what
Mhm.
our
and that's what
ancestry
I'm
went
getting ready to
through.
touch on now, because
Yeah.
also um when I would even go to the African shops, and I hate to say it, a lot of them, I feel the
Mhm.
same vibe a
Yeah.
lot of times, and
Mm,
Mhm.
I've stopped going to them, and
I
I'm
was gonna
so
say that.
yeah,
It's the
and
same way.
yeah, and
It's
I'm so thankful that I have found an
mhm.
African American owned natural hair. Because you remember, EM, you and I talked about it. Was I told you it was hard for me to find one. And this
mm,
place, I'm so happy they do nails also, and they
mm,
I haven't I rarely get my nails done because I for the health of my nails. But if I have
Mhm.
something special to go to, some I will. But this place does nails and they do hair, and it really puts me in the mind frame when we used to go to the hair salons, and you just felt a sense of peace, and there are good conversations going on.
Mhm.
They're playing respectful music. A lot of times when I'm in, they're playing gospel music, and I
Mhm.
mean they're really sincere women. And if I was thinking, if my sisters ever come and they need to get their hair done,
mhm,
we're going all three of us and go
Mhm.
on an appointment together.
mm,
That's how much I love this place. And
mm,
the young lady who does my hair, I mean,
Mhm.
it's just it's a
mhm,
very it's I
Mhm.
call it a diamond in the rough, because we don't find have a lot of these places anymore. Like you said, they're far and few in between now, where there used to be
mm.
many of them. So,
Right.
anyways, that was my topic, and I agree. I think we do need to patronize our own, but there
Mhm.
are a lot
Mhm,
of layers to it, and I think there are a lot of other conversations that we will need
Need
to
to be
have.
had. Mhm.
mhm.
We
So,
need
but
to
yeah,
have
Right,
this.
because there are places like let's talk about Winona for instance.
hmm
Ever since Winona is a small town in Mississippi where we were all born, and
hmm
population maybe 4,000 right now. But as long as I can remember, there's always been Mexican and Chinese food in Winona. There
hmm
has always been those two. Now the Chinese place may close down, but another one comes in. Now, when
Mhm.
you think about it, a town of 4,000 that small,
Mhm.
but those businesses seem to, and they have opened up now. It's about three Mexican restaurants, and they got three stoplights, but three Mexican restaurants, and
hmm
they only have one Chinese. And the food at the Chinese place is absolutely terrible. It is disgusting. I had it when I was there. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I almost felt like it smelled like it was rotten.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
went
I
to
don't
one of
It was
even
those
that
really
bad.
go to
Chinese
get
restaurants.
Chinese
I
food
went to
like I
one of the
used to
Mexican.
because Chinese food is not good anymore. It's
I
low
went to one of
quality.
the
It's
Mexican
bad.
restaurants in Winona. It was horrible. It was horrible. It tastes old, still. It was horrible. And
Mhm.
even just when you go into a restaurant, for me, I like for the environment to be nice and
Mhm.
clean.
Mm,
It wasn't even that.
Yeah,
So yeah.
mm,
I can't find no good Chinese food. I
hmm
remember when we grew up in Minnesota, there was a
yeah.
Chinese. food. What was it? It was in Golden Valley. I can't remember the name of it, but I
I
think it
remember
was
But I
Golden
know
something.
exactly where you
And
talking
they
I
had
do
about. We
too.
used to
Yeah.
go
good
after we went
Chinese
to the
food.
laundromat.
They just don't
Hmm.
have good Chinese food no more. It's just
Mhm.
it's terrible.
I
There's no
find
good
myself
Chinese.
going to PF Chang's if I'm
Hmm.
going. I mean, to me,
Hmm.
that's not the
It's not
best
good either.
Chinese food I had in my
Mm-mm.
life was in Chinatown in San Francisco.
Mm.
That
Hmm.
is the absolute best Chinese food I ever had. And they told us we wasn't even eating at a good place. But it
Mm.
is very hard to find decent. So
I
I end
can't
up going to
find.
the places that are more hybrid. They're not really Chinese like
Right.
teriyaki chicken. It's not
No,
really
the
Chinese.
Japanese restaurants are actually better. They're okay. Now I've gotten some good Japanese food because it's
Mm,
fresher, but the Chinese restaurants, they're awful.
Hmm.
mm,
And so when you
yeah.
all talk about restaurants now, so are we, I guess, questions of, we, what do we
We
boycott
shouldn't be
next?
patronizing them either. Even though I
Mhm.
know this was specifically, the things that he commented about, but basically he just basically called out our whole race and everything as
Mm,
if everything we
And
have is
it was
because
just
of them.
it's a very weird response to me. And some of the
Mhm.
things he said let me know, oh, you lying, because you absolutely do need our business.
right.
They do.
Right.
Because why are you so angry if you
Hmm.
don't need,
Hmm.
if you're not
Hmm.
concerned about losing that black dollar? Why are
Yeah.
you
And that
out,
lady,
Yeah,
that lady who was doing, people would say, I rebuke you. No, it's a spirit behind that. It's a
that is
spirit of
no.
hate. That is a
Mhm,
spirit of hate that she
Hmm.
has.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it
that's
is.
far deeper than
mm,
just racism.
yeah.
Racism is hate too. But that lady, that is a hate. That is
She
hate.
got a demon on her.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is hatred.
And
And
go ahead. I'm sorry, Ian.
I'm just, for her to bring up,
It was crazy. It's just so
yeah, it
weird and
was just,
crazy.
yeah. And I feel like a lot of people like that, either they have their own business or they don't work or they
Mhm,
very wealthy and they don't have to work because that's the only way you can go out there and put some out there and not be concerned about your well-being and
Right.
your
And then not coming
livelihood.
back. Hmm.
Right. Yeah.
and I saw, and I did, yeah, there were, like I said, a lot of people in the Asian community really called her out. And there was this one guy, he did the screenshot of, he said, because I knew she was gonna block me, because I guess he,
Hmm.
goes after a lot. But so yeah, it's just a weird response to a community who feels that there is injustice, and for the man to chase. And I thought it was illegal to shoot someone in the back.
It is. You're not supposed to pursue.
Yeah.
So the fact that I didn't even see the case, but I
Hmm.
mean that's one of the things I know when you can conceal and carry, but if that person leaves, you're supposed to let them go.
Mhm.
Hmm.
There's no
And
way you're
over
supposed
a
to.
bottle of water that he did not
Right.
even steal. So,
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
so ladies, that was my topic. Like I said, it was going to be a little heavy, but you all get the picture
Mhm.
of what my
Yeah.
questions and stuff, what it's really about.
Right.
Well, I haven't got my nails done, but I am in the North Carolina area, so I am looking for African American owned
Mm-hmm.
shop. My one of my concerns in my experience has been the services sometimes are more expensive, which
Mm-hmm.
I understand because sometimes the
Mm-hmm.
quality is better,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
but they need to also the customer service needs to
Service,
be
yeah.
there.
You're
Hmm.
you're
You
you're you're
know,
you're touching on some of the broader things that I
yeah,
said when we circle back.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. So that was my topic, ladies. And you all gave
Hmm.
me a very good conversation. I appreciate it.
Hmm.
Dialogue, I should say. So we will move on to Bo.
Okay, well, I don't have a whole lot to say today, but I just been hearing in the news a lot about warnings about the advancement in AI going as fast as it is. They're saying that advanced AI development, they warn that AI systems are advancing at an unstable rate. Um, and risking a total loss of human control and recursive self improvement. Um, so, I mean, I was just thinking, like when they say, that it needs to slow down, what types of things are, are in danger. And, and also I've been seeing a video populating about they have one of these robots who's, there's a crowd of people standing around and he's just doing his thing. And really what he's doing is not much of anything. But then he kicks this baby, this little kid in the stomach And the
Mm.
kid is like, and he didn't come back up like, oh, no, he stayed down holding his stomach like he was really
Really?
hurt. Yeah, and then I seen on the news yesterday where there was a fire. A big building had caught a fire, and it was three people killed in this fire. And there was one of these little cars that don't have people driving in them, and I guess he wasn't able to, view and realize that there's a fire going on right here, and there's police cars here and everything. So the police comes up to the car, and he starts talking to the person who's operating the car, and he's telling him, there's a fire, there are lives lost here, we need this car to get out of the way, it's in the
Right.
way. And the guy on behind the thing says, well, we can't back it up, it seems that the car is malfunctioning and stuff like that. So I was like thinking about those things and kind of
Mhm.
attributing it to
Right.
the things that they're saying with the advancement of AI, and as fast as it's going, causing there to be
And
possible, you know.
yeah, and just imagine
Mm,
they're putting semis out there now. And
that's
those semis, they're supposed to have a driver, but that semi will be electronic.
mm-hmm,
So it will, it's supposed to start replacing drivers
mm-hmm.
because it doesn't need a brake. It
Hmm.
doesn't, it may not even need to get no fuel.
That's
It will be able
dangerous.
to ride,
Yeah,
and then you're talking
that's
about
scary.
vehicle
I
that
don't like
weighs tens of thousands of pounds.
Mm-mm.
So
mm-mm.
it's
That's
coming.
scary.
Even in the logistics, they already use them in Texas. Right now, they're using them like just to do rail, like go to the train and
Mhm.
back to the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
But they're on the roads.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I know another hot topic about the dangers of it is what is the environment. And so
Mhm.
it says the environmental impact of artificial intelligence stems primarily from massive energy and fresh water required to train, maintain, and run large-scale AI models in data centers. So it's taking an effect on the environment as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. um another point that was made, they said, intelligence explosion. Researchers warn that AI could soon be capable of designing, training, and deploying their own successors without human oversight. Now that's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
how? How?
Because
Somebody
it's
has to.
learning. It's
Yeah.
learning.
Hmm.
It's learning from us. Everything we put in there, we're using it and we're loving it, but it's
Hmm.
learning from us. It's
Hmm.
Hmm.
learning.
Yeah. Mm. Immediate security, societal dangers, and we talked about that before.
Hmm.
Um, Workforce destabilization, total surveillance, the need for international verification. Um, and then something says here the gas pedal dilemma. So that probably has something to do with, the vehicles that we were just talking about, semis and the cars and stuff.
Mhm.
It
And just
says,
imagine Tesla's putting out those semis. Now,
mm-hmm,
have you all heard that when a Tesla catches on fire, it does not, the fire is hotter than an average car fire. So can you
mm-hmm,
imagine that semi with that big
mm-hmm,
lithium, whatever battery in it? If a Tesla fire, just a small Tesla, is
Like a
hotter,
bomb.
mm-hmm,
just can you imagine those being on the road and if
Yeah,
something happens?
mm-hmm.
like a driving bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, just imagine if they're
Moving
carrying
bomb.
gas and stuff like that as well. I wonder, would they trust those trucks to carry gas without people, you
I
know.
hope they wouldn't. But they're supposed to, right now, there's supposed to be a person in it. But
Mm-hmm,
if you look at the way they're made inside, the person is sitting in the middle. So
Mm.
it's almost like they're just controlling, but there's a steering wheel because you can put it in the manual.
mm-hmm,
But yeah, they're on the road.
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
heard someone say that, you all think a pilot is driving your airplane, but
Right.
it's really not. And that scared the mess out of me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that pilot ain't doing a whole lot up there.
But he's up there though.
Right.
Because I just wouldn't, I don't know what I would do if I looked in a cockpit and wasn't nobody in there now. That's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's, mm,
Yeah, there's a lot to it. I'm just reading here, and they're talking about nuclear arms and things like that with
Mm-hmm.
major tech labs, and
Right.
Competing nations can temporarily halt trainings.
Right.
Um, so yeah, that's a
You know,
lot when you think about
the
that.
right. The true thing right now, people think about war and bombs and stuff, but the true thing is technology.
Mm-hmm.
Who
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
fastest, the quickest? You never know
Mm-hmm.
who's developing what,
Mm-hmm.
So technology really is going to be what's going to,
Mm-hmm.
impact us most.
Yeah.
It's going to be the destruction of us. There is
Oh,
an
yeah.
email that you all remember Cameron, his dad had sent us. This was years ago. His dad has since passed on, but there was an email that talked about how technology is going to be the destruction of us. I
Mm-hmm.
wish I could
Mm-hmm.
find that email.
Mm-hmm.
And it's some of the stuff I remember in that email just circles full circle back to, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Crazy.
That was a good topic, Bo. Was there
Yeah.
anything else you want to add to that?
No, I mean, I didn't expect us to go as far into detail as we did, and I'm glad that we did because I think it was informative, and I've learned from it myself. So,
Yeah,
Mhm.
very informative.
hmm
Well, EM, we're on to you,
I
and you let
love
me know.
AI.
hmm
I done
Yeah.
created websites with it.
hmm
I got to checking my
Mhm.
emails. I got to pulling my
I see
PDFs
you
and
trusted a
filing
bit
it.
much.
hmm
Having to check
Girl,
your emails.
yeah.
That's a
Look,
hmm
we run about three different businesses over here. I
right.
need some help. So
Yeah.
Right.
I'm programming it now. I'm using PowerMate, Automate to pull my emails and see a lot of times when you're working in trucking industry, people send you a rate con. That's your contract.
Mhm.
Then they
Right.
send you a BOL. That's another attachment. So
Mhm.
I just got tired. I was like, I asked it. I said, look, can you do this?
hmm
And
And it
it
talks
says,
to you too,
sure.
doesn't it?
Yeah, I asked. I
It
said, "Can
is
you
so
help me with
spooky
this?"
sometimes.
hmm
Yeah, and it told me it said, "Hey, this is you are." He said, "The thing said, can I look at your computer?" I said, "Sure."
Oh
And
my
looked
God.
at my
See, that was scary.
computer, and it said, "You already got Microsoft 360 Power Mate. You got this. You got this. We can do it." And then if I get stuck, I said, "Look, I'm stuck right here," and it says, "Let me look at your screen." You know,
You
so.
Yeah,
there
it's
was
true.
I didn't sorry, yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. There was
Mm,
I think I've seen two stories now about AI aiding someone in committing
mm.
suicide.
Oh
Oh, I
yeah, I've
can't
seen
remember
those.
what they were
Yeah.
and committing,
Mm.
Yeah,
uh,
terrible.
it's horrible.
Now I'm using it to help
Not
me work
here.
smarter. But
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah, it
things I'm
does. It
also
does.
doing is learning the steps
hmm
because
Mhm.
that's what we talk about it at work and stuff. And I tell people, don't let it do everything. Don't let it show you how to do all this stuff and then you never learn anything.
Right.
So
Don't
learn how to
become
do it because,
lazy. Yeah.
right, my goal is next time I have to automate something, I can do it myself. I don't have to
Right.
ask it to do it. If I get stuck, I can ask it for help.
Right.
So my thing is don't let it do everything. Learn because it's showing me a whole bunch of stuff I could do that I didn't know I could do.
Right.
So, like I said, I built two websites with it. So,
Wow. Goodness.
and I'm learning how to code. So, I'm learning how to code from the AI. So,
That's good. I mean,
right,
it definitely has its benefits,
right.
So,
So, well, my topic tonight is a simpler life, and if you can't tell by the things I just said, I'm trying to have a simpler life. So, talking about just skinnying things down. So I'm at that point in my life. I don't need another piece of clothing. I don't need another shoe. I don't need another car. I don't need another. I've had many of the things that I want in my life. Can you all hear me? Okay?
mhm. Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. It's peacefulness.
Mhm.
So peace is where I'm at right now. And Veronica, I think I sent you a clip. You were going to show a little bit of
Yes.
it.
Yes. I'll show it now.
William Morris once said, "Have nothing in your house that you do not know to be useful or believe to be beautiful." These are words I live by for two reasons. I love being surrounded by beauty,
And my physical surroundings directly affect my person. I can meditate and do yoga till the cows come home, but if I'm surrounded by a mess or just excess stuff in general, I am unable to focus, to work, or to relax. A serene space is a requirement for my sanity's sake, both professionally and personally. Clear countertops, an empty sink, clothes put away, an empty desk to write on. The thought alone both focuses and calms me. But the world I live in doesn't readily meet my needs for simplicity. There are more products available to us than ever before. The 1950s era supermarket contained 3,000 different items, but by the 1990s, there were 30,000 items. Let's take a look at a swanky Fifth Avenue apartment in 1943. Notice the lack of clutter, the negative space, the simplicity of it all. This is no longer the ideal, or even if it is to some people, it's nearly impossible to achieve. We as a society are accumulating more than ever before, much of which can be traced back 25 years ago to when imports to America increased exponentially, allowing huge amounts of cheap toys, clothes, and electronics to come our way. As a result of this accumulation, 1 in 11 American households spends over $1,000 a year to rent self-storage space. 1/4 of households that have 2-car garages have so much stuff in there, they can't park a car. And although US consumers make up 3% of the world's children, we buy 40% of the world's toys.
Wow.
Wow, when she said
Yeah.
that about the garage, you see me raise my hand. I'm like, that's me.
Yeah. And I mean, in our house that we're selling now, we have a 3-car garage. It was full of stuff, and we had a storage, and I was paying about $2,000 a year for storage. A
Mhm.
house with what, 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and every closet full,
Mhm.
every room furnished, all that stuff. And when I think about that now, I'm like, I don't want any of that. Um,
Mhm.
I want a simpler life. I do want the counters not cluttered. I do, I want to have enough clothes where I look and I know what I'm gonna wear. I don't
Right.
want so many clothes anymore that I'm just past that stage in my life. So
Mhm.
one of the things I was showing you guys the plants before we started, for Milton, that's his peaceful place. So
Mhm.
that's peace for him now. So I'm just, I think we're at the point where we're trying to do that, avoid all the clutter, avoid all the electronics, all the messages and all the stuff on TikTok, and get to a quiet space, because time is fleeting us.
Mhm.
Every time you look up, another week has passed. I mean, we'll be halfway through June here shortly. June just came in.
Mhm.
So, I need more time. I need to value my time with things that matter.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of young people are tired of chasing the dollar. They don't
Mhm.
want to do that. They don't want the stress of all that. But they also want to, have a life. But so what do you all think about that minimal, having less, and focusing on things that matter?
I follow a few groups and a young lady who what they're calling now minimalists.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think I'm totally there yet, but I do
Mm,
get like, the decluttering, a lot of times when I look in my closet, all those shoes and stuff, I say I just need to take
mm,
half of it, probably more than half of them, because I don't even wear half of them. Half of them still have tags on them. Never wore them. If I haven't worn them by now, I probably never will, because they've been in there for years. And I'm like, I just need to be a blessing to
mm,
someone else. Take them to Goodwill or be a blessing to someone else with those shoes. So I do get that.
right.
I do see. Have you seen? I also follow a lot of some of these groups where people are moving into these tiny
Not
homes.
small. Yeah, I've
Now
seen that. Now, I don't
I
think
don't
I
think
could
I'm
ever
there.
do
I
that.
don't think because I'm a
Mm-mm.
little too claustrophobic for that.
Yeah.
But for me also, you talked about things that bring you peace and stuff, and I can deal
Mm,
with the smaller home and definitely less clothes, less shoes, and all that. But I could think I would appreciate bigger outdoors outside space, because
mm,
like your husband,
right.
who,
And
that's what
that's what
brings
we're
me
looking
peace.
for.
Yeah,
More outdoor space.
yeah, yeah. Because I right now, I grow, I have my flowers and stuff, but I would like to do
Mm-hmm.
grow food, certain types of food and stuff too. To me, that's a part of simpler living also.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm at a place where, I have a big home and stuff,
Hmm.
and I'm kind of like, kind of over it too, because I'm like, my job just switched to 10-hour days. I mean, I'm working 3 days a week with 10-hour days, and I just feel like too much of my time is going in there. So, I'm in a place where I'm just like, I really
Mm-hmm.
don't need all of this at this point. Even like I drive a big truck, it's like, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just costing too much of my time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I am working on a project invention as well, so I'm hoping that it will take off and give me that freedom to live a life that, I don't
Yeah.
have to be stuck to someone else's
Right.
company.
Trading your
But
time for
yeah,
money.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Building
And that's
someone else's brand, because essentially when
right.
we work for these big corporations, that's what we're doing.
And they
Right.
can
And
they
that's
can they can switch your time, your
Yeah.
schedules. They can do
mhm.
whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Right. Just like, I was remote for years and the company came back and said, hey, we're going to invoke this part of your contract and
Mhm,
we're going to revoke it. And it's in the contract. A
Mhm.
company, when you work remote and you sign contracts and stuff, that
Mhm.
contract is written to their favor. So they
Yeah.
can switch you out of that contract whenever they want to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I work in contracts. That's what I do. So every contract is written, if I write
Mhm.
a contract, I'm gonna write it in my favor. I mean, that's
Right.
that's how I'm gonna do it.
right.
But I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I don't necessarily need this. And I talked to my husband today about, us planning that when we are done here, that maybe we'll, transition to something else, maybe smaller and even a different place.
Mhm.
Because also if you think about just the time, like the time we spend in traffic, how
Mhm.
much
Mhm,
time we lose in traffic. I mean, so we are not that far from our job to our home, but some days we could spend over an hour in traffic. Whereas
Mhm.
in Jacksonville, it was the distance. Everything was so far.
Right.
But here is the traffic. Even
Mhm.
in Atlanta, when we lived in Atlanta a year and a half ago, we lived right in Buckhead, so he could walk to work. So we didn't lose a lot of time in traffic. And I think that's why we enjoyed it there because we did have longer days.
mhm,
But I'm just thinking about downsizing and going somewhere, living somewhere that's not so metropolitan, not so
Mhm.
large. Maybe finding something to do from home while we do work on our own businesses, and eventually be able to, let that go.
Right.
yeah.
And when
Because
you said he could walk, I remember when I lived in Richfield, I used to walk everywhere. I walked to the
mm,
bank, I walked to the grocery store, anywhere I
yeah,
could.
we did
I walked.
too.
And
Yeah.
I would love to live in a little town like that, where I could have,
Hmm.
my land,
Mhm,
um, and just be able to walk, just
Yeah.
walk wherever I need to go. There were restaurants around there. I used to walk. I used to walk.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that that's a good
yeah.
living.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, these jobs will take you out, and you know what I'm saying. I've seen it happen, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just really not worth it because they
Mhm.
will put more and more and more on you as much as they
Mhm.
can,
Hmm.
and
I
it's
mean,
just
we've
not
we've
worth it.
experienced it here recently. One of our coworkers had a heart attack,
Oh
and
Mm-hmm.
wow.
he had been complaining about the amount of work. Now he's
Really?
had a heart attack. Now you got to come back from that.
Mm-hmm.
When before Mama passed, I remember she was complaining
She
about the
worked.
young people at
She worked
Prudential
overtime that
and how
night.
they were so cutthroat and
Mhm.
so mean and nasty, and how one young lady had called her out in a meeting. And
Mm-hmm.
I think she was getting tired. She was getting tired of it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let, I've been in my company 22 years. I'm not going to let it be cause that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's what
but
I'm saying.
that's, go
It's
ahead.
no, that's also what I was saying. I don't see myself retiring from someone else's company.
Mhm.
Mm,
I can't go another
Yeah.
12 years or 10 years. I just
Mhm.
can't.
mm,
Yeah.
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 So that's my topic because a lot of people are looking for that. How do they simplify their life? And I think
Mhm.
one of the things you have to do is realize what's important to you.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
What's really important to you, because is it your peace, having time, spending time with your family,
Hmm.
having time to sit and think and do things. Can you earn a little bit less money but live the
Hmm.
lifestyle you want to?
Still be happy and
Or
healthy.
right. Or are you trading your time and maybe your salary is six figures, but you can't even enjoy it. And
Hmm.
because you're probably living above your means anyway with everything that you're doing. Yeah, you have a lot of things you want, but you can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that's my topic about, how to simplify things, make, so that you spend your life doing what's really important to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great topic, and I think a lot of people are aiming for that. I think a lot of to simplify. I think a lot of people are downsizing from the big, huge homes and stuff.
Hmm.
I sent you that Zillow from
Yeah.
Zillow, Deion
Yeah.
Sanders, that big. And I remember when they had a TV show when they had that big, huge mansion sitting on all that land. They said that mansion has been sitting there 10 years now. I
Hmm.
think it's selling for a little over four million,
I
and
couldn't believe
as
it's only selling for that. I'm like,
yeah, and it's
dang,
as
that's a
is.
bargain.
It's selling as is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you do with something that massive?
Hmm.
I mean, I guess you
Girl,
could
I mean,
Maintain.
have a business. You could,
I can't even
rent a
think
bunch of
walking
business.
around there. You got to walk all
Yeah,
the way from your bedroom to the kitchen.
yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
the upkeep, and
Hmm.
Yeah.
so
That's one.
Cleaning and
That's a
all
it's
that.
Yeah.
crazy.
About
All
big
of that is a job.
houses. Yes,
Mhm,
that's why I had to have somebody come in and help because
mhm,
there's no way for me to do. That house we lived in Florida, I mopped it one time, and
mhm,
after that, I hired somebody because there
mhm,
was just too much mopping and vacuuming.
Mhm.
mhm,
So
mhm.
I don't want to spend my whole weekend cleaning up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't clean the whole house in a weekend. I actually called some people recently to have them come in and come out, and they want to know
Mm,
how many rooms you got and how, what do
mm.
you want
Yeah,
cleaned.
no, see, that's to me, it's just so invasive.
I
I
know
just,
I
Well,
didn't have them come out yet because I'm like, do I feel like I need to put some things
mm.
I
up,
just
or
don't
And
know.
see, that's the thing about it because you all know I had a cleaning service. They came every other week,
Mhm,
and a lot of times I felt like I had to clean up before they get there. So
Mm-hmm.
uh-huh,
I put up certain stuff, got certain
Mm-hmm.
stuff out the way. But
mhm,
what a cleaning service will help you do, which I do suggest both of you look into, is they see things you don't see.
Mm-hmm.
mhm,
So you don't see the dust sitting on certain areas because you're looking
right,
at it every day. You don't
mhm,
notice that your baseboards have certain things
Yeah.
because you look at it every day. So
mhm,
they do help, even if you have somebody come in once a month, it's worth it for those type of things
Mm-hmm.
to
mhm.
do that for you because you don't see it. You don't
Maybe
see it.
I like I think they call it like a hard clean. I don't know if I'm doing it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
They
I
come
get
in and
what
do
you're
like
saying. A
It's
deep
a deep
clean.
doors
Yeah.
clean.
and
Yeah.
windows and stuff.
Mhm.
And
I
it's
may,
expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Now
It's
I got one of
expensive,
those
but it's
little
worth it.
Yeah,
Eufy things, and
yeah.
it goes around. It just goes around the whole
Mm.
house, and I have
Mhm,
to close some doors because it'll get stuck in the different rooms and stuff.
mhm,
Yeah.
But I thought it wasn't working, but I went to get ready. I was
Mm.
doing a donation box, and I was gonna put it in the box,
mhm,
and Kyrie was over here, and Kyrie was like, he said, I done seen some of them online for $3,000. Now I didn't pay that much for the one I got,
Mm.
but when
right.
I went to clean it off, I pulled the little thing out, and it was full of dust, hair, and
Mm.
everything. So I said, this thing is working, so maybe I
Mm.
do need to keep this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my topic. Let us know what you think. Are you for the simple life or you still want to keep chasing a bag and side hustling and everything so you can have Louis Vuittons and all that stuff? And I have one Louis Vuitton, that's enough. And I've decluttered before and I gave away all my Michael Kors. I've given away Coach bags. I've given away other name brands.
Mhm.
I think part of it is you got to let it go.
Hmm.
And I think, Rocky, that's probably where you suffer at, is you got to be able to release it.
But I
And
have let some things. Because even when I moved here from Virginia, I let some things go. And like you said, and I'm kind of there were two Coach bags, and I kind of regret. I'm a Coach girl. I haven't gone higher than Dooney and Coach. So below me, I haven't. I know you two have, but I haven't.
Hmm.
But there's one Coach. It was a Coach little square Coach bag that I purchased for myself, and that's the only reason that it has sentimental values for me. When I was in high
mm,
school, my very first one.
Yeah, I have my
And
first one.
and then there was this big one that I had that the ex-husband had purchased me. Man, I only regret it because I only carried it one time. It was such a classic, beautiful bag. And so I
Hmm.
wish I wouldn't
mm,
have, just get, but during that time I was like, oh, this from him, let me,
Hmm.
I kind of
no.
regret that
Yeah.
on because, but
And I think you have to, like, for me, some of the things I deal with is I don't want to let it go and then I'm going to need it.
right.
Hmm.
That's
I
me too.
like to
That's
have
me too.
have stuff. Whereas my husband would be like, "We can just go get another." One. I'm like, "That's a waste of money." But that's one thing for me. I don't want to need something and I had
Hmm.
it or have it. But right now, We got a whole garage here
Mm-hmm.
full of stuff because we combined Atlanta, we combined Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and then we came here to North Carolina. So we have probably almost a whole house down here in the garage, and then a
Mm-hmm.
whole furnished place up here. So whatever we do next, I know I'll be getting rid of quite a bit of stuff.
But you know, that's me too with stuff. I'm always like, well, what if like I have to clean the under sinks of my in my bathroom. I have like all these
Yeah,
tin
I gotta do
cans.
that too.
It's some creams and some stuff that I ordered from a black owned business. And they come in these real cute little tin cans. And I ordered
Hmm.
a lot of, because I had it on like a subscription. And every time I use the products, I just put these little cute cans down up under the sink, and I have
Mhm.
like a whole big. And I'm like, you know what? I just need to go up there and throw them cans away, because like you said in the
Mhm.
back of my mind, I'm like, I could use these for something.
Right,
I need to
right.
go
Yeah.
ahead and throw them away.
Well,
Yeah.
that's my topic. We are almost at an hour
Yeah, we're
tonight.
at an hour.
So,
We did good,
yeah.
very really good tonight, ladies. This was good conversation. Good. I'm gonna probably
Okay.
chop it up and try to drive some people to the page, but we're doing good. And we are, again, thank you all for joining. If you all are joining the replay, hop
Well,
down and,
let me
oh
ask
no,
Monica this question. What you think
Mm.
about that lady who came out the water on them people?
Which one? What
talking to me?
happened?
And y'all did see the video of the lady who she's supposed to be a deity or some type of witch or something in the Carolinas, I think South Carolina.
Let's see, don't
And
Mm,
be
and
telling
she
me
came out
that.
of the water.
well,
What
the
you
couple said a couple was
Mm,
walking on the beach at night, and she
mm,
came up to them and said,
mm,
"Do you want me to take a picture of you?" And
mm,
they said no, but
mm,
she had two dead fish in her hand,
mm,
and
mm,
she walked out into the water, and she disappeared.
mm. Wow.
Hmm.
so
Do
did she
y'all? I
drown?
was wondering, Bo, if you
Did she
think it's
drown?
AI. They say it's not. No, she walked and she just went on
I
out
believe
there.
anything can happen. It's crazy. I seen
Mhm.
So you sent
one.
us that video?
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah,
And
it's all over. They talking about there is some deity in the Carolinas, or it's not in the Carolinas. It's a deity, some type of goddess of the sea or something. They said it's time to sacrifice to her, and that's what some
mm,
people say it was a siren. I don't know.
mm.
But I do believe that there are some things on this
Yeah,
earth that we,
yeah,
you know.
that we haven't
Yeah,
seen.
I believe
Mhm.
that. And sometimes I hate, those are things that I hate to face, but I know it's true. And I think those things are starting more and more to reveal
Oh
themselves.
yeah, because
Where
the
people are
veil
just
is removed. Yeah.
because you're
So
just seeing
yeah,
people do
you're gonna
more,
see more and more. You can
more.
even look at some people now. I've looked at
Mhm,
some people and I tell my husband I can see that they are very dark and I can see something else in operation in them.
mhm. Yeah,
It's very
that's
obvious.
discernment.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Now
All
I'm
right,
sitting
well
here
we're
in the
gonna
dark, so we don't want to get too
yeah,
much into
let's
that.
go ahead. I just wondered if y'all seen that. We just talking, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
have to
know.
see. I'm
When
gonna have to
we
look it up.
inviting, yeah. No, I haven't seen that though. I want you to send it to me, but I don't want you to send it to. I don't know.
Well, most of the video you can't really see clearly her. You
Mhm.
just see her. You can see her silhouette. You can see
It's
her
so much
walking in
AI with this.
almost like the water almost
Mhm,
obeyed her. It just stopped kind
mhm,
of, and she just walked right on out there like it was nothing.
And
mhm.
you did or did not send that to us?
No, I didn't send it.
Now
Okay.
you know you should have been sending us that.
Right. Well, we need to go, y'all.
All
Mhm.
right.
Thank
Yeah,
y'all
we,
for
we
All
did
right.
tuning in
really, really
tonight.
good. Who's gonna take
Engage
us
with us.
out? We
Thanks
we
for
thank you.
watching. Three Peas in a Pod. We hope we said something that intrigues your interest or something that can help you can use in your life, decluttering and all the things. And thanks for watching. Drop
Yep.
down in the comments. Let us know
All
what
Are
you
right. Good
you?
think.
night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Three Peas in a Pod.
In a podcast. Bye.
That's
Bye,
us.
ladies.
Bye.
Mm.